Hey, what's up? Yeah, we're here. So this is the first of a drawing video, y'all. Um, I have a TikTok, by the way. If y'all don't know my TikTok, it's not that spec, which I just draw mediocre art and see where I go from there. Hence why the name not so special. Like the full name means not so special, but I just say not so spec because it's just quicker. But today I'm gonna be like, well, not today, technically speaking. I drew this like 2 days ago and I recorded everything. But like the original one that I recorded kind of sucked ass. But this one is not so bad. So I'm just kind of like drawing characters from my Webtoon thing idea that I want to go for. But I am very much so lazy and I'm procrastinating doing everything. So I'm trying to just like figure out currently how the characters will look like. These are like currently the four members of the entire thing. So the whole idea of the show, the the webtoon, the series is kind of like a few kids get lost in the woods, and then we see the story from there. And then we have my favorite character that I was just sketching out. Currently, I'm just sketching out like I just need to figure out their body proportions and sizes and everything. They're all kind of the same height because they're kind of the same age. The only person who isn't included here is the cook called Matt, and I still need to figure out his own character, like silhouettes and everything, because that man is like difficult to draw. I drew him once, and I haven't drawn him again. Like I've never drawn him again. But currently I'm drawing Hamlet. I just drew Ruby on the side there first. That's like my favorite character to draw. Ruby's like the best OC that I have. Hamlet is like my favorite OC that I have because of his tragic backstory. And all of my characters have tragic backstories. You you're not gonna expect, like, there's no way that's not gonna happen, okay? The third character that I'm currently drawing is Alex, who has his own story, but I can't really expose it because it's like a secret thing for chapter 2. There's a lot of things going on with this. And I know this is like my first webcomic that I've ever wanted to make, but I don't care whether or not it's going to kill me, and I know it's like a long project. And people who say like make webtoons like as soon as they start, they're like, "Oh, don't make a webtoon that's very long and drawn out with a lot of narrative and plot points and stuff." I was just like, "Why not? It seems fun." Because I love these, like, the thing is, right, I can't make like short stories for these characters because most of my characters have a whole story planned out for them since like I was in grade, like, what grade 10, and I'm 19 currently. So I was just like, babes, it's either I do something with these characters or I leave them to die, because I already have characters that have died and I don't like that. So, and when I say characters that have died, I mean like characters I don't draw them anymore because they're not really relevant to anything in my life. These characters, on the other hand, are literally what I'm feeling like at my age. Of like, oh yeah, this is how I used to feel. This is the current me. This is how I see myself. Most of my characters are like, as they say, most of your characters that you draw are like reflections of yourself, pieces and stuff for you, like a part of your brain, basically. That's just like your spirit in them. So, hence why I have like my mains, and then also have like my favorites, and then also have like the ones that I usually draw just because they're always there. So I only drew like 4 characters currently because of my. I just needed to figure out the camp counselors, which is Ruby and Hamlet. And then we have Alex, whose story is just gonna come in a bit later. And then we also have Danny the Ghost. Not Danny Phantom, okay? Danny the Ghost. I just thought it was funny. But yeah. Also, the fun thing is, the so amazing thing is that the line art, I couldn't, like, for some reason my PC stopped recording the line art just before I was about to finish. I couldn't even finish the sketching of the line art, you know, for all the characters. So it kind of just like skips forward. So don't be surprised when you see like all of a sudden they have color and the line art is done. For some reason my PC was just acting up and I was like, you know what? I'll work with you, not against you, because if I work against you now, I am not gonna get anything done. And that line art took time. Yeah. Actually, line art doesn't really take that long for me to do. I just hate how my hand sometimes just gets lazy. and then I don't want to do it. So we have Ruby, who has, okay, as I did say, I mentioned that they all have tragic backstories, okay? But the tragic backstory of Ruby is that you can actually, I can't even, I can't even spoil that. That's so bad. It's like, because everything kind of like, for some reason, every single like backstory thing that I kind of have for all my characters makes sense in the whole like Webtoon series, which I didn't think it was gonna make sense, because I was just like, how am I gonna integrate like Ruby, Hamlet, Alex's backstory in a series where the main thing isn't even about them, but they're also a part of it. You know, I like treating my OCs, all of my OCs, I have like a lot of them. I like treating my OCs like their own individual character, where it's like, listen, even if you're not following along with their backstory, somehow their backstory will still make sense as to why it's there, you know? So Ruby and Hamlet have their own situation thing going on with their backstories, and then Alex just comes in as well. And then the kids are also there, which I'll explain more in the coloring process. As I said, we are here now. I told you the coloring just randomly popped up, and I was like, okay, cool. I just need to continue recording. So, essentially speaking, most of like the colors and everything just kind of makes sense, but also at the same time they didn't make sense. But, you know, I was just like, you know what, so long as it looks aesthetic, and it did, even though it looks very chaotic, but like the chaotic aesthetic is also good. I like that aesthetic as well. So there's a lot of things that go, like a lot of things happen in this series where I was very confused at first as to how am I gonna make this make sense. But now it kind of just did click. So currently I'm working on like episode 1, which isn't a lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it isn't a lot. But I'm on like script 3 for like the whole thing, because I like writing them out as scripts so that I'm able to just like be done with it, and then I can see exactly what I need to do and what I need to draw. And then, yeah, well, I actually don't like that color for Ruby, hey? That's not his original color. For some reason, it just doesn't look right. It looked a lot brighter when I was drawing it. I'm not even gonna lie, it looked a lot more saturated. And yeah, a lot of things were going on. Also, the hair. Y'all, I was struggling with the hair again. You see, Ruby is my complicated character that I hate drawing, but I love drawing them. Because Ruby's hair is just, it's just an issue. I need to figure out how Ruby's hair, what color Ruby's hair is actually. Because I remember I was just like struggling to find the proper color. As you can see there on the like the color wheel. Well, next to the color wheel. Next to above. That's the word I'm looking for. And I was just like, what is going on? Bestie, this is not the color that we usually go for. But I was just like, okay, whatever. I'll do what I gotta do. I'll do what I gotta do. Just so long as I have what I need as to how they look like in the current moment. Like, this is like how they look like in chapter 1, and in also like the entire what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say season, but it's not season. It's what is it? Anyway, I'm just gonna say season and continue living life, because I really don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but it wasn't season. In chapter 1 or season 1, essentially, this is how they all look like. Hamlet, on the other hand, I don't know what was going on with him, because I was like, do I want Hamlet to wear shorts? And I was like, well, it kind of makes sense for the story. You know, do it for the plot, because it makes sense for the plot. And I was just like, okay, I'll just leave that then. I don't really mind my characters like changing clothes and stuff. I like changing my characters' clothes, especially like Alex and Ruby. Also, here's a little spoiler. Danny is gonna change clothes at an exponential pace where it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna happen in season 2 or season 1, you know? But it's gonna happen probably somewhere. Like, literally, I already know there's gonna be a lot of seasons explaining Danny's story, because Danny also has his own story. Like, let's think about that, guys. Let's think about that, okay? Um, I don't know. My characters are just weird, and I like drawing my own characters instead of drawing fan art, because I remember I saw that post on Twitter, and I was like, oh, why do I relate to this? This is not fun. This is not funny anymore. Because I was like, I don't really like drawing fan art, but when I do draw fan art, it somehow does well than my own original character. I was like, okay, I understand why, but I love my characters way more than I love fan art. Like, I only do fan art when I'm bored, like really bored, and I'm never bored when I'm drawing my characters because I'm always drawing my characters for a specific reason. But anyway, back to what I was saying about like the whole show in general, like the whole series in general. The whole thing is just like very long, and I was just like, I'm scared to take this, like to even do this because I didn't even want to record myself just in case I just don't meet the expectation. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not giving myself a time limit for making this, okay? A time limit is just gonna kill me since we all know what happens if you put yourself on a time limit. It's not fun. But I do want to finish this like as soon as possible. Just that's literally my time limit, as soon as possible. So however long it takes me, I don't mind. Just so long as it's done, and I have whatever I need. And then I'll be happy. Also the colors and the clothes. I'm just gonna say this, okay? I usually draw and hello? Oh. Oh, that's the time I walked away and started like my dogs were like barking at something and I was like, what happened? And then I was like, did I die or something? Listen, the colors of like each of the characters' stuff is like kind of corresponding to like their personalities and everything. But the two main characters, who is Hamlet, like the main camp counselors are Hamlet and Ruby. I'm just gonna say, look at their colors quickly when I go back to them, right? Especially like you won't see it right now with Hamlet because he's wearing like shorts and stuff and you can't really tell. And he's also wearing a tank top, which, well, that was for the plot as well. But I'm telling you now, look at Hamlet's socks at the end and look at Ruby's sweater thing. That would make more sense because look at Hamlet's hair and look at Ruby's top. And then I know I didn't make it like yellow for a reason because Ruby's color is never been yellow. Ruby's hair color has always been yellow, but it's not like yellow. His favorite color is not yellow. His favorite color, you will see what it is. You will see. And sad to say, it's a very cute thing. I don't know. I could spoil this. This is not really a spoiler because you're gonna immediately tell from the get-go. But like it's gonna probably be in like episode, I don't know, like 3 of the whole Webtoon series where I explain what's going on between Ruby and Hamlet. By the way, they're dating. Hamlet is his own individual person, and Ruby, they're just interesting. That's it. But then there's a lot more tea. There's so much tea that I want to tell y'all about, but I really don't want to do that because then it's spoiling everything. And I want to keep everything a secret, you know? I want some people to be shocked when they're reading this. Um, what I'm gonna say is right now, don't go to Webtoon, you're not gonna find anything. Right now, all you're gonna see are just like me planning things out and stuff, which I feel like I should do that more often, and then I can talk out what I'm thinking while I'm making this. And then everyone can see the process of how I made this. Also, please ignore the way I draw, like I draw shoes. I don't know how to do it. I just draw what I feel like looks okay, even if it doesn't look like biblically accurate, babes. I don't care. Just so long as it's there, and you understand what those are. That's my main focus of the entire thing. I don't know, but yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Hopefully I see you guys next time. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video because it took too long for me to make this one already. And also, can I just say, this thing took me, how many hours did I see? It said like 2 hours, which I have never like. I don't draw that long, but for some reason, oh, and that purple, y'all, that purple is gonna make sense one day. It's not gonna be today, but it's gonna make sense one day. But yeah, that purple is kind of like whatever. But it took too long, and I might not make another one. But if I do make another one, I will make sure that I talk again because I don't like talking when it comes to my art stuff. The process is just too. There's too much involved in the process where I'm just like not thinking and I'm also thinking. But yeah, see y'all.